Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Car Talk. It's the In Wheel Time car talk show. Just ahead, we're going to speak with Tim Spell, former Houston Chronicle auto journalist and co-founder of the Texas Auto Writers Association. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar, and Mr. Mars reviews the new Ford RaptorR. Later, we'll talk to the author of Car Confidential. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. We're not going to linger here with the introductions, except for Mr. Tim Spell, who's with us now. Tim, good morning. Tim, I think that you, sir, are muted. I think because we can't hear a word that you're saying. You saying anything?
Yeah.
Tim, are you talking?
You got to unmute yourself, Tim.
Yes, Tim. Push the button. You want audio.
Or don't.
Yeah. Now, you know, Tim has been in the print business, so he doesn't know anything about audio or video or phones or any of that sort of stuff.
Well,
I'm sorry. Are you saying something, Mr. Mars? Because your microphone's not on.
Pick a letter, Vanna.
Yeah. Mars has got the same problem that Tim does.
I'd like to buy an E, turn the mute off.
All right. Well, he's not. We can't hear you, Tim.
He just had the knee replacement, so he may be still getting adjusted to his medication.
It affects your ears, evidently.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Well, we're going to take that off of there, and when he comes
Are you
back,
there, Tim?
He
can hear us now.
We can see your lips moving, but we can't hear you.
Yeah.
So you're muted somewhere.
You are muted on your end, Tim. It shows here.
God. This is just this.
Talk to you next week.
Yeah.
See you at Woody's.
Yeah. No, we can't.
Now we
hear
can
you.
still see your lips moving.
All right. Well,
We can't
take
hear
him off.
Yeah, he's been off. He's gone.
You guys work on this, okay? Okay, Mr. Mars, would you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. In the meantime and in between time, we'll do this without Mars. We're going to do Hemmings.com sold cars roundup.
Oh, you don't want to wait for the Hemmings?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
No.
Got your list?
Because we don't want to overdo it. I don't know what's so special about this 2002 Chevrolet Corvette. I guess it's a Z06 or something, because it sold for $32,550.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of money for a C5 Corvette. Mm-hmm. So it must have.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's got new wheels.
Whatever. How about a 2008 Mercedes-Benz CL 600?
Oh.
That would be the little sport coupe thing.
But it's a fixed roof coupe. It's not the.
Correct. It's a fixed roof coupe.
It's not the convertible.
No, it's not. It's the CL 600.
Put me down.
2008. What do you think it was?
Put me down for 17.
17.
Mars, you have an idea?
He's busy doing it. He's not involved.
I'm gonna say 30 because you got to remember a 600 is a V12. So
Well,
I'm gonna
I
say
didn't know
30.
that, so,
Yeah,
okay.
600's a V12.
Well, it sold for $21,525. It's a pretty little car. This would be right up your alley, sir. A 1989 Ford Mustang, 5 liter. Apparently, that's what it's got on the fender. So, what do you think an '89 Ford Mustang would go for?
$8,000.
Yeah, it depends on how much modifications are done to it. I'll say 12.
$9,400. Jeffrey, can we get you a throat lozenge or something?
Maybe Mike's got one. It's good.
Mike has always got one. Usually in his mouth. Ricola. 1978 Lincoln Continental. Hey, Tim, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, my God. So we're going to pause this. We're going to pause the Hemmings thing while, we're right on top of it.
Now that we have sound.
In our crack engineering department here.
Our engineering on crack.
Yeah. So it's Tim Spell, ladies and gentlemen. Photojournalist, print journalist. Tim does it all. He's also the co-founder of the Texas Auto Writers Association. What year was that, Tim?
It was 1987.
87. Well, your memory is still good.
What? What'd you say?
I said your memory is still good.
I lost my hearing, though.
Yeah, apparently so. And your microphone.
Yes.
But yeah, so how many original members of the Texas Auto Writers Association did you have in 1987? You and one other?
No, we had about 30, but I think about 39 members, actually.
Really? Did you go? Did you beat the bushes to get them all to come into the Texas Auto Writers Association? How did that
Yeah, we
come
did.
about?
And they all paid to join?
Oh, what happened back in 1987, if you were a Texas journalist or a radio show host and you wrote or talked about cars, you weren't part of the national scene. Okay, they had journalists and groups on the East Coast and on the West Coast and in Detroit, but not in Texas. So they had one guy who, Peter Hubbard,
Oh yeah,
for the...
he worked for the
recently passed-
Post.
He worked for the Post. Well, he got a group of people together, and with the assistance of Ford PR, they formed a group. And they finally got some recognition after that. So I think they were eventually incorporated officially in 1989.
But are you still a member?
I'm an honorary member.
Well, that's what happens to old people.
That means you're...
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, congratulations for an honorary member, an honorary founder.
Yes.
So it was you and Peter Hubbard that did this?
No, actually, it was Peter Hubbard and Stephen Cole Smith, who eventually became the executive editor of Car and Driver, and about 5 other guys started it, and then I came in a couple of months later. So I cannot claim I was there when they formed the bylaws. I was there originally, but that I wasn't that first group.
But you were
But nobody knew that till you just said that, because I told them otherwise.
I said lying. I'm sorry.
But you were the founder or co-founder of the Texas Truck Rodeo.
That is correct.
I knew it was something big.
So
like
you're going to
that.
bring it back since it's kind of collapsed and gone away?
Oh, has it? I did not know that. Yeah, I
No,
thought
they-
it was a good show.
They still have it.
They still have it, yeah. But I don't believe that there's only Ford and GM don't participate in it.
No, they do not.
So how do you have any competition if you don't have the 2 of the 3 biggies?
Yeah.
I just simply said they still have it. I
Because
left
Ram
it
and
there.
Jeep win every year.
Well, what other choices do you have? You got Toyota Tacoma,
And Nissan, whatever that is.
whatever. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. So at any rate,
Yeah, back then, all the other groups, they had track days, and so we were under pressure to have a track day, and I thought that maybe to distinguish ourselves, we could have a truck day, because we had the largest truck market around. So it worked, it stuck, and they loved it. So it immediately got traction.
yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I know that one of the members opened his big mouth, and Ford said, "Well, we're not coming back." And that was the end of that. And then I didn't know that Chevy and GMC had gone away as
Pull the
well.
plug as well.
Yeah, because the last time I went, I believe all 3 U.S. automakers were there, and it had evolved to the point where, it was obviously more SUVs than trucks because they were making more of them, and there were no limitations, and it became a field day of SUVs, so much so that it took 2 days to go through it all. And you can't. Well, we can't take this one off road. Well, wait a minute. It's a SUV.
Yeah.
A utility vehicle. It's supposed to go off road. No, can't take it off road. Well, how do you competition that you,
it turned into a logistics nightmare. It really did.
It did.
Across 2 or 3 days. But you're right. It got so big when we were north of San Antonio, doing it at that ranch up there. There was almost 230 people that attended that 2-day event. By the time you had journalists and support people for the OEMs and all that stuff, it got to be pretty big for a while.
yeah. So, and that's when I said I'm not coming back. I just couldn't do it anymore. It was out of control. So, but at any rate, apparently the coveted trophy for the truck of the year is still handed out, and I think that there's at least one American manufacturer that wins it, I guess, every year, but it just doesn't seem like...
I'm not sure about that. I know that the trophy still goes out, and it still goes around. I haven't been able to go for probably 4 or 5 years. So
Are you still a member?
Yeah.
Are you not a president emeritus?
No. I'm not old enough. I'm not as old as Tim.
Well, they gave us an award. Didn't we get an award recently?
Well, that's what we were going to get into.
Okay.
Tim was also part of, he had a lot of experience running the Excellence in Craft competition.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you can talk about that now.
Well, that one started back in about 2007.
Yes.
And when it started off initially, it was just mainly, I think we had writing and radio. That was it. But things have evolved. Times evolved, and now there's, as you know, podcasts, which you guys are brilliant in, video, social media, which I don't know too much about. But Don probably does. And so it. What I found out in doing this is there is a lot of talent in Texas, and let me say further that this is really kind of a national deal because a lot of the members of the Texas Auto Writers weren't from Texas. We had them from the East Coast, we had them from Michigan, and so they're from all over. So California. So there was a lot of competition, and so it kind of I think every year, hopefully, the mission is to raise the bar, which I think you guys are part of doing.
Well, that's nice. We appreciate that. Are you sure that we're raising the bar? I think
We're
that
just
we're
attending the
lowering
bar.
the
Or
bar.
we're just standing at the bar?
We're at the bar.
I read on your website that you're America's most entertaining car talk show.
Yeah, in our own mind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew is this like the world's greatest cup of coffee
yeah.
kind of deal?
That's exactly what it is. Yes.
That was in Elf.
Yeah.
That's in Elf. Was it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
The
did
world's
not-
best cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that. Well, at any rate,
Well,
yes, Mr. Mars, you're leading this.
So what are we doing? Like Tim said, this goes on every year. You make submissions to it, and we do. In Wheel Time does submit some things into it, and this year in the podcast category, we took first place.
All right.
For our podcast of the Solar Car Challenge segment that we did, and the judge said, "I chose this In Wheel Time Car Talk podcast for a couple of reasons. First, the topic is timely and much needed for the industry for the opportunity that the program offers for the future generations. Also, it's a testament to the effort involved in editing a live radio show down to an interesting podcast." So that's what we did
very good.
in the podcast category, which we've only been doing, 2 years maybe?
Yeah, apparently, he doesn't listen all
Yeah,
the time because we make a lot of fun
I
about
don't
electric
know
cars.
I don't know who
This
the
is solar.
judges were.
This was solar.
They go find the judges, and they don't tell anybody who the judges are until after the competition's over because they don't want people calling the judges and trying to influence them and all that stuff.
Oh, no. We wouldn't do that.
So, in the radio category, we got second place in Wheel Time for the show that we submitted. So, what's holding Americans back from widespread EV adoption? So that was in the radio category. We also had a submission in the writing review category where Jim Nelson, his review of the Genesis G80 took a first place
All right,
for In
Jim.
Wheel Time. Jim's review of the Genesis G80 balanced key facts with an assessment of features and drivability in a way that made the review engaging and easy to read.
Way to go, Jim.
Jim.
So we continue our
Award-winning ways.
our award-winning ways.
Are we going on tour with this? Or
Well, I think that we may in the spring. We're
Okay.
kind of looking at the schedule to see what we can do.
All right.
We're going on tour with it.
Yeah, we're going to go back to Granbury.
Cranberry, Hot Rod Tour of Texas.
Yeah, we may go across Texas in April. You know.
Well, that's true. We're the Hot Rod Tour of
Us
Texas.
and Willie.
Yeah.
We'll all ride around on Willie's bus.
Yeah. Then we'll have a big smoke fest at
Oh,
the
boy.
Saturday night.
Oh, boy.
Celebrate.
Yeah, I guess.
Go to the drive-in.
Guys, you were talking about earlier about the beginnings of the Texas Auto Writers, and how everyone wanted to become this back in '87. I'm just reflecting about the cars back in 1987. Who would want to be an auto rider in '87? I was thinking,
Exactly.
you had the K cars, Dodge Aries,
Yeah.
and you the Mustang a minute ago. The big store was a Taurus, and they had Fieros, all kind of square body stuff.
Hey, I remember the Oldsmobile Bravado won an award from the Texas Auto Writers Association. I worked for Oldsmobile at the time, and they actually advertised it and made a poster about it. I was surprised.
Kathy had an Achieva.
Sorry
She
to hear
hated
that.
it. It was green. Yep.
And they actually took that Bravada out into the mud pits. We used to
And
have
left it.
And that's why they wouldn't let Don do it again a couple of years ago.
Oh yes.
Oh, you can't take that off-road.
I'll never forget. I think one of the last truck rodeos that I went on, somebody didn't stay within the boundaries of the river that went through the ranch, and you could clearly see the drop-off in the river. But no, let's just go and see for sure
How deep it is.
how deep it is, or if it'll float. Well,
Oh,
it
boy.
didn't. It sunk, and they had to get the wrecker and pull it out of there.
Yeah, we heard about it.
Winch it out.
We were there working the event. It was in there. Oh, we'll get it out really quick. Look, Ford's got a 250 with a winch on it. We'll get it right out of there. Jeep did not. No, you cannot hook that Ford onto that Jeep and yank it out of there because people will be taking pictures of it. No, wait. They let it set in the river until the wrecker got there to take it out.
Which happened to be a
It's
Ford.
probably a Ford. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Well, makes me wonder, Tim, how many Texas Auto Writers wrecked cars that were on press release?
Well, we had some terrible wrecks, and unfortunately, we even had a Texas auto writer, a former president, killed.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was, and I was president then. It was the introduction of the all-new, new generation 1994 Dodge Ram. And we were out in a desert. I mean, it was just a vast desert. And there was one road, kind of a snaky road. And this person was blasting it. Actually, he was driving a competitive vehicle, a Chevrolet truck. And he was going, over 100 miles an hour, kicking up this big rooster tail. And coming from the other end was a group of people who serviced and cleaned the cars. And they just happened to meet at this one crook in the road. And it was, the trucks went airborne. And one guy, the Texas auto writer, died. And some others were seriously injured. So that was a terrible thing and quite a PR nightmare, if you can imagine.
So, yeah.
Thanks for asking.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
bringing
didn't
us
know
down on that little deal.
I had no clue. I didn't know that. But
That was an uplifting thing.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
so do you miss your writing days? Are you writing at all?
No, I've been pretty much out of the loop for about 3 years,
Yeah.
And actually, I'm pretty good at doing nothing. I know you guys can't do that, but I can just kind of do nothing. So, just turn my mind off and that's it. So
And shuffle down to the restaurant down by the water in
Yeah.
San Leon, Texas.
Exactly. They have nice bar there.
Yeah.
And, I've been, I told Mike that I'm, trying to recover from a knee surgery this week. So, but I debated before coming on with you guys whether I should take some of these painkillers, drugs.
Yes.
So
And you did.
Hey,
I doubled up. I thought dealing with you guys that might make things better.
He doubled down.
And you're not going to share?
well,
Oh, come on.
little does he know that we're all on him, too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, Tim, it's always good to talk to you, and we enjoy the laughs and thanks for the awards that you had nothing to do with, but but at any rate, it's good to talk to you, my friend, and best healing wishes to you.
Congratulations, guys, on the win.
Thanks, Tim.
Hey,
Let's
thanks.
talk soon. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, my friend.
Same to y'all. Bye.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice
fun.
guy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, great guy.
How long have you known him?
Probably 2000 is when I met Tim. That's when I started getting into the press cars and that sort of stuff. And he was a member back then. And yeah, and through that, when did you start Mars? You were started after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was after that.
Yep. So Roger Gray was working for General Motors at the time, and I reached out to him to get press cars because I started doing What's Don Driving on Channel 2.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it kind of parlayed into an ongoing thing now for 24 years. Yeah, so-
Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, time now for the events calendar. Conrad has the events calendar, I hope.
Yep, not a whole lot going on. Rudy's Tomball presents Fire 'em Up Car and Truck Show, and that is going to be Saturday, January 20th at the Rudy's on FM2 or on 249 Highway just south of Tomball. Also Saturday, February 24th is Stephanie Nichols' 13th annual car and plane show. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
At the Georgetown Airport. I remember when we
In
went
Georgetown, Texas?
to Georgetown, Texas. I
That's a-
remember
that's
when
a
we went
drive.
to
It's nice country.
the Mustang show down at Ellington Field. I thought that was just so cool to be in and amongst the planes.
Yeah.
And always wanted to thank the Mustang guys for that, so thank you. And then the Houston Cars and Cocktails New Year's Eve party.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Cars and Cocktails and New Year's Eve and fast
What
cars.
a combination.
Sunday, December 31st at Little Woodrow's in Tomball. You got to remember, December 31st, the date's going to be
1, 2, 3.
12, yeah, 1, 2, 3,
3, 1, 2, 3.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
The only time that'll ever happen.
Mr. Mars, I don't know as if this is kind of a jealousy thing. Oh, shut up. Mr. Mars has a review of the 2023 Ford Raptor R.
Aura.
R.
And that's a very important R.
I know.
And they highlight it in their graphics in a nice bright red. So, first, let me tell you, this is the R trim is new for 2023, and it's not really a trim. It's actually a separate vehicle in their listing.
What?
It's an F-150, which you can get in 9 different packages, trim levels, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of combinations. But there's only 2 under the Raptor label. The Raptor and the Raptor R, which is, again, is new for 2023. Otherwise, it's the same full-size pickup. It's 5 passengers. It's got the Raptor R badging on it, which has got a different set of graphics on it. The R really stands out on the running boards and stuff. It's all red. It's got it up on the grill. And it does have the running boards, wheel lip moldings. And the Raptor body style itself is a little different. It's kind of bulged. It doesn't really have fender well lips per se. It bulges kind of a little bit more out is the only way I can
Than
describe
a
it.
standard F-150.
Kind of
Yes,
a
and it's-
desert runner look.
And that's exactly what it is. It's the Desert Runner look. And this year they've added a power dome hood that as they need
The
because
hell
of the
was that?
supercharge.
What the hell did you just do?
It was my cough drop. I had to spit it out. I was getting tongue-tied with it.
He's going to aspirate it.
I was going to choke on it.
It's so funny because we have a radio show that's audio in nature that coincides with this video thing, and you don't chew gum, you don't put things in your mouth, you don't smoke cigarettes when
Well,
you're
I
trying
thought I
to
had more
talk.
time to get rid of it beforehand.
I like the power
Can I
dome
keep
hood,
going
though.
here? So you're going to find it's got the automatic LED headlights up front, got LED fog lights on it, and it's got a twin panel moonroof, which I thought was kind of unusual. Got a power tailgate with a step on it. Got 17-inch wheels and 37-inch tires, so it's got some big rubber on it. The regular Raptor only comes with 33s, so this is 37, so it's considerably bigger. You're going to find skid plates, you're going to find Fox shocks, you're going to find all the things that makes the Raptor what the Raptor is in regards to that Desert Runner. What I found unusual about this truck was the luxury they built into this vehicle. I was kind of expecting, bare minimum thing, but Ford has really stepped up their game in their interiors in the last couple of years, and it shows particularly in
Ram
this one.
did that to them.
Yes, Ford's got to play the game. So it has the Recaro black leather seats in it. The front and the rear are heated on this thing. Got a 12-inch touchscreen in the center stack. That's where you're going to find all your convenience controls and your Ford Sync 4, your surround camera, all the things, which the surround camera comes in really handy, I suppose, if you're rock crawling. Didn't do much for me on the beach, sand crawling, but in rock crawling, I can see where that would be helpful. The rear seat folds up, and it's got this big flat floor on it, except there's a storage compartment underneath the seat where you can store things, but it folds down. So you've got this almost a bed-sized flat floor in there. Now, Don, being your height, you probably couldn't, but I can lay down in there, and I could probably sleep in there on an airbag.
And you probably tried, didn't you?
Well, I had to see if it fit.
Becky threw them out.
After some of your brown water that you drank.
You got to make plans for these things. So I thought that was really cool with the flat floor and everything. It's got lots of overhead storage, and it's got a panel up there that's got all the auxiliary switches on it, so you can add all your extra lighting and stuff. So it's all wired in, and they really made this a nice truck that's got this off-road capability to it that, again, kind of surprised me to see the combination of the two. Up under the hood's where it gets really fun. 5.2 liters supercharged, 700 horsepower, 540 pound-feet of torque. It's actually, it's a Shelby GT500 engine, detuned a touch.
Detuned to 700 horsepower.
Yes. And so, again, this is a 10-speed automatic. It'll haul 1,400 pounds.
Donkeys.
Haul 1,400 donkeys is the way I got it put in here. The EPA says you should be looking for about 10 in the city, 15 on the highway, combined 12. Now, I will say I drove this vehicle 230.7 miles, and I got 12.4. And I took a picture of it for proof. So it's a really it's a nice combination truck. Again, it's got terrain management, 7 modes. One thing I will tell you, exhaust settings, you can change the exhaust from quiet to normal to sport to only off-road. I left it on the only off-road all the time because you could hear it all over everything. And there's no sneaking at home with that. The quiet you might could. Now, the base trim price or the base model price for a Raptor is $78,510. The base trim price for the RaptorR is $109,145. $31,000 option to go to the R.
And the price as tested is
$111,935 out the door.
And they'll sell every one they build.
I can see why. Now, and I will tell you again, base model to base model, the Ram TRX, which is really the only competitor that's out there right now, $84,850 is the base starting price for it. So if you're into that, you need to go check this vehicle out. It is pretty impressive.
This program is available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts are on your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 car talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best car talk show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite car talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.